Hello everyone and welcome to our Facebook Live session this evening. It's lovely to have you. My name is Kate Legg and I'm one of the practitioners working for Dementia Carers Count. I'm an occupational therapist by background. And I'm joined today by Hannah Thomson, who's the founder and CEO of the Joy Club. So thank you so much, Hannah, for joining us this evening. It's lovely to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Can you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, certainly. Thanks, Kate. And it's great to be here. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. So my name is Hannah. And as Kate said, I'm the founder CEO of the Joy Club, which is an online activities club and community for people in later life. And we'll be talking this evening about my amazing Granny Jean, who is the inspiration behind the Joy Club and everything we do there.
Lovely, brilliant. I don't know where you want to start, Hannah, whether you want to start with Granny Jean or whether you want to tell us a bit more about the Joy Club and what they do.
Yeah.
Or how did it start? Maybe we'll start there. How did it start?
Yeah, let's start there. So the Joy Club really started with the inspiration from my Granny Jean. So Granny Jean was the mum of my mum.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the person that I was closest to in my family. She was my best friend, my greatest champion. And she was somebody who had a very normal working life. She was a very dutiful geography teacher and a wife and a mother. And then she got to retirement and she just thought, do you know what? I don't know who I am and what brings me joy. And so she went on this amazing sort of adventure and voyage of self-discovery. She went backpacking around New Zealand by herself. She went volunteering in Bulgaria. She got into painting and started to exhibit as an artist. She tracked down her boyfriend from when she was 15 years old. And they got married at the age of 75 and had a fabulous time. And so for her, retirement was the most joyful time of her life. And I was in my sort of late teens and early 20s at the time, and actually, was doing similar things in terms of, travel and discovery. So we became perhaps unlikely adventure buddies, and spent heaps of time together. And she really showed me how amazing retirement could be. And then, sadly, I lost her to dementia a few years ago, and that is what made me. Well, it made me aware of the challenges that people in later life can face in terms of her, having dementia and passing away, but also her partner, Ian, the boyfriend from when she was 15, having looked after her right until the end at home and the challenges that he faced as her carer. And it also just showed me and I guess inspired me to pay tribute to her by sharing her sense of joy with as many people as possible through what then became the Joy Club.
So how did you come up with the Joy Club idea? I know it was based on Nanny Jean, but what was it specifically that you wanted to do?
Yeah. Well, at the time, so I started working on it in about, September 2019. Mm-hmm. And then by the time I really started to build the product, it was the pandemic. So there were lots of people at home. And I wanted to share her sense of joy and adventure with as many people as possible. And so myself and my amazing team built the Joy Club at www.thejoyclub.com. And it's a membership platform where you can enjoy live online events and inspiring content, articles and recorded content and community. And so that's really what I wanted to set out to create, is a place that anyone can come to online. So whether that's, you're at home because it was lockdown, which was very much the case at the time, or perhaps you're at home looking after a loved one with dementia and you're looking for some me time without being able to leave the house, or perhaps you just want at home to explore your own interests and continue to grow and learn and develop and discover exciting new things. And so that's why I created the Joy Club with those live online events and content and community.
So what sort of events do you do, or what sort of content is there online?
Yeah, all sorts. So when it comes to our live online events, we've got things like creative sessions, like creative writing, drawing, art. We also have expert sessions, like criminal psychology is one of the most popular of those. Really interactive, so the lecturer will sort of pause every so often and get people to guess, who done it. And then also fitness sessions as well. So we have things like Tai Chi or, seated yoga, solo dancing, cardio. We had a request for belly dancing the other day, which we put on, which was really successful. So real breadth of event topics. And then when it comes to articles, similarly, we have a breadth of topics. But I think one of the most exciting things that we're seeing with the Joy Club is that our members, and we've got thousands of members now across the UK, average age 69, and they're not just reading the articles and attending the events, they're actually writing the articles and running those events. Which is great because they've got like Granny Jean, kind of a lifetime's worth of experience and humor and energy to share. So it makes for the best content. And yeah, about 90% of articles are written by the members themselves, and about 10% of the events are run by the members themselves. It's something we want to support more of. So it really is a club. You can become part of it and really contribute to its growth.
So for each session, what sort of numbers do you have in each session? And can people get to know each other?
Yeah, people do get to know each other. And it really differs. So we tend to find with the exercise classes, there might be 40 people in a class, but people very much turn up, ready to do their thing. And if there's too much chat, people are a bit like, you can see them like glancing at their watch, like, come on, I'm ready. But then there might be sessions that actually lend themselves more to that kind of interaction chat. So creative writing, for example, is one of those sessions that people have really got to know each other really deeply. There's generally about 6 or 7 people in that class. So you do have the chance to chat with each other, with the facilitator, and really build up those relationships over time. And outside of the event, so we'll open up the kind of video conferencing a little early. We'll leave it open afterwards. So before and after the session starts, you can have the kind of casual chat with people you would in the same way if you'd gone down to a town hall to go to a Tai Chi session.
So was your intention originally for it all to be online, or did that kind of, like you say, evolve because of COVID?
Yeah, it did. It did evolve because of COVID. What do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. So it was a case of that. And I think, at some point in the future, we might do, or at least, connect our members to each other so they can meet up locally with each other. We know that offline connection is really important to people. But for the moment, the online piece, I think, is really helpful for lots of people for lots of very different reasons. And I think actually, and particularly because we're having this discussion in the Dementia Carers Count sort of forum.
Online.
Online, exactly that. We find that we do have a lot of carers in our membership community because, it's not always easy to pop out to a class if you're caring for a loved one with dementia. But the Joy Club is a place where you can come to from home and just get a bit of me time. And that's something we see a lot. So we're finding the online piece works really well for our members at the moment.
Brilliant. I was just wondering actually about if people, like old carers, maybe come along as well with the person that they care for and do some of the activities together.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are lots of opportunities for that. All of the sessions really you'd be really welcome to bring along your loved one to enjoy that. There's also lots of recorded content as well. So the opportunity to do exercise classes or those creative sessions and, pause if you'd like to. But yeah, absolutely would be welcome to bring along a loved one.
So the name, the Joy Club, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Why did you choose that?
Yes. There's a story behind this. So back in 2019, when I decided, Gran at that time she was still alive. So I hadn't lost her in the sense that she'd passed away, but I had lost her in the sense that, she didn't recognize me and wasn't really able to communicate with me. So I felt like I'd lost her at that point and was already thinking like, I really want to explore how I can support people in later life. I wanted to, because prior to that, my background's in technology, and so I've always worked in different technology companies, and I thought there must be something that I can do with the skills that I've got so far to, for this group of people. And so I started to interview people, lots of people in later life with lots of different experiences. And I asked them, what are all of the challenging things about later life? And then what are all of the really good things about later life? And then I had lots of these interview transcripts, and I went through all of them, and I, circled all of the negative words, I circled all of the positive words. And the positive word that was most often used was freedom. The freedom of not working anymore. But there's already the freedom pass, the bus pass. So I thought that's
Yeah.
so the number two, the second most often used positive word in association with later life and retirement was joy. So then I had joy as an anchor. And then I worked with a group of people in later life that I'd interviewed to come up with a name in full. And joy was important to them, but so was the idea of a club, like the idea that you can genuinely be part of something, that your feedback will be listened to, that you're shaping it, that you're helping to deliver it, and having that kind of genuine, authentic community feel and involvement. So the Joy Club was born. So not really my idea at all, can't take any credit, but it's I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I just wonder if you have people that kind of think that they have to be joyful the entire time in the club, and some people might struggle with that.
That's interesting. It's I'd say a lot of people come to us for not very joyful reasons. So for example, 25% of our members are widowed fairly recently. So that's a very common pathway to us, that people might lose their spouse, they grieve, and then when they're ready to rebuild and find structure again, they'll come to us. It might be that somebody's been recently diagnosed with a health condition themselves. It means they're less mobile and able to get out of the house. It might be that somebody's caring for somebody, and they're restricted in terms of what they can do with their own free time. It might be that somebody is, they were really looking forward to retirement, and then they're actually feeling a little bit adrift, because so much of our structure and identity is wrapped up in working life. So people come to us for lots of reasons, and many of those reasons are not particularly joyful. But I think the key thing is that they know that they're going to come to a place where no matter what their situation is, they're going to be welcome. And it's such an amazingly welcoming community environment. And then people can find joy with us, even if their circumstances mean that joy isn't something that comes easily or comes all of the time for them.
Yeah, so engage, because as an occupational therapist, obviously I'm very interested in engaging in activities, and some of the purpose about engaging in activities is about skills and well-being and self-esteem, but a lot of it actually is also about just having taking yourself away from a situation for a little while and getting engrossed in something else and getting the positive vibes and things like that. So I can understand that. So I was thinking a little bit about the identity, because you were saying, is it aimed at people that are retired or retiring, or is it kind of open to anybody that's older?
Yeah, and well, we say anyone who's sort of semi-retired or retired, and we tend to say that because our live online events kind of run during the working week. Mm-hmm. So if you were somebody who was working full-time and you signed up and you were looking to find events, you might be disappointed, but then we have so many recorded events now and articles, so people really can enjoy the content as they wish. And we have people, our youngest members, I think, are probably in their late 50s, and then our oldest members are in their 90s. I found out recently that we've got a mother and a daughter who are both members, which I absolutely love. So yeah, I mean, we tend to say for people who are, semi-retired or retired, but ultimately it's content that will support you in your somewhat later years. But the people in their 50s are not, they're super, many of them are super young and sprightly, so it's not too I think distinct. If it sounds like something you'd like, have a look, basically, is what I'm saying.
So it's more focused on the activities rather than I'm just reading some of the comments. We've had a comment saying it's so important to have options like the Joy Club when you lose someone. I wish I had found the Joy Club or similar when I needed it most, which was definitely not a joyful time. So I'm just thinking about what you were saying about the people that are often widowed, or it's that sort of period of time, isn't it? There's that loss of role. So sometimes it's work related. So people have worked up to a certain age and been very engaged in that, and then they retire and then they have a loss of role. Sometimes it's because they've been in a relationship and, you know, somebody's died and that hasn't continued, or they've cared for somebody. We hear that from our carers a lot, actually, where, you know, they've been full-time caring for somebody and then either that person goes into a care home or they die, and it's like, you know, they just don't know what to do with themselves, and kind of replacing that role. So it gives a place for people to come and try things and get to know other people and continue activities, by the sound of it.
Yeah, that's completely right. And I think, you know, even with like thinking back to Ian, who did such an amazing job of caring for Granny Jean, actually even becoming a carer is a sort of loss of role.
Yeah.
And that, like, the changing nature of who you are in that relationship with the other person as well, it's like a massive shift to go from a romantic partner to a to a carer. And so we find as well that's a sort of loss of role situation. And so, yeah, I think for all of those people, the Joy Club is a great place to come and have a bit of space to find who you are now, who you want to be, what you want to try, what you want to do. And also because we have come to understand that many of our members are facing these challenges, we do provide sensitive conversation handling training to our community team, who are the ones that will, you know, answer phone calls or emails or join events. And then we also put on very specific events, like we've got an amazing guy called Peter Slee, who does a listening ear session. And so that's a place that you can come to if you really want to talk about a difficult experience that you're going through. So we increasingly are understanding the challenges that our members are going through, and then providing space for them to either really engage with that and talk about that, or be completely distracted from it and have some escapism and actually just find some joy.
That sounds great. I was going to ask you about that kind of emotional support, and it sounds like it's evolving because it's been it's only been a few years, hasn't it? But it sounds like it's really evolved over that time. Is that widely influenced by the feedback you get?
Oh yeah, totally. Yes. Yeah. And right from the beginning of the Joy Club, I've very much seen myself as a facilitator rather than an innovator. I'm very different to our average member, so I don't want to presume what it is that people want. Instead, just constantly talking to people, listening to people, getting lots of feedback. And so, you know, the name was the idea of our members, the brand. We test the product as well with our members so that it's really easy to use and really effective. All of the activity suggestions as well come from our members. For example, as well, at the moment, we're experimenting with sort of audio content, so things that people can just listen to whilst they're doing something else, because we were hearing that, you know, maybe people wanted to listen to some Joy Club content whilst they were cooking or driving. So yeah, constantly evolving and always based on the feedback from our members, and always we're constantly curious and looking to improve.
Brilliant. So if somebody was interested in the Joy Club, what do they need to do?
So if somebody was interested in the Joy Club, they could come to www.thejoyclub.com to find out more. Everybody can sign up for a 1 month free trial. You don't have to put in like any credit card details or anything, so you can have a proper nose around and go to as many events as you like, and read as much stuff for that first month. We're also, I'm hoping maybe the Dementia Carers Count team's already put it out, or they can put it out afterwards. We've also got a special promotional code for the Dementia Carers Count community, which is, let me find it and make sure I don't misquote it. It's all capital letters, no spaces, DCC Joy 2023, and that gives you an additional month free. So then you'd have 2 months free, access all areas, and then afterwards, if you wanted to stay, it's £9.99 a month afterwards. But yeah, 2 months free, especially for the Dementia Carers Count community. And yeah, I think just a little message here from Rob saying he will be emailing that out. So if you didn't catch that promo code, that will be coming to you via email.
Brilliant. That answers a couple of the questions that we've had come in. Sarah's asked if there is an age limit because she stopped working earlier than she'd expected because of an injury.
Yeah, that's absolutely, yeah. Come on over. That is absolutely fine. There's no age threshold.
Brilliant. And then Graham asked, do you do taster sessions? But you've kind of answered that really. Yeah, it's a shame I'm working full time. I'd quite like to come. What's your most popular? What are some of your most popular sessions?
Oh, good question. Combination of things really. So Tai Chi is always a firm favorite.
Okay.
We've got an amazing Tai Chi instructor called Jerry. And some of our members have taken to calling the Joy Club the Jerry Club instead. We just love him so much. So Jerry has somewhat of a cult following. And then also the sessions run by the members are really popular.
Okay.
And we have all sorts. So we have a wonderful lady who started to do kind of tech sessions to help people become even more confident with their technology. We have an amazing member called Clive who does sort of nostalgic music sessions, so kind of like 60s,
Okay.
70s, like, do you remember these bands, like what's happened to them kind of thing. That's really popular. We have another amazing member called Kathy who does kind of confidence building sessions.
Brilliant.
Popular as well. So yeah, and I mentioned the criminal psychology stuff as well. That's very
Yeah, I can imagine.
So it's a real mix, and we're always trying new things and listening to feedback. So yeah, if someone did happen to sign up and they're like, I'm not sure if there's anything here for me, I'd really like it if there was, I don't know, more gardening stuff or more DIY stuff, then you can just let us know and then we'll look at programming that in.
That sounds great. I'm just thinking, because a lot of the when I was working as an occupational therapist with older people prior to COVID, a lot of the work I did was about trying to enable people to get to groups and get out to activities. And that was in the days when, you wouldn't even have heard of stuff online. It's actually really hard to do that, even just to go to one session, because actually turn up in person at a session takes a lot of confidence and practicalities. And also you might turn up and then like absolutely hate that one particular session. And so to me, it sounds like, wow, you can just sort of like come to all these different sessions, try lots of different things. And if it's not for you, you haven't sort of really had to put yourself out there and get there, and even just have an availability, because a lot of things that limited people were getting to. So, if where I live in this little town that I live in, there's probably one or two clubs across the whole week in the whole area, which I may or may not get to, may or may not interest me. But, if you've got this whole variety of things to try out, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And we find we've got over 50 live online events running this month, for example. So lots to choose from. We've got hundreds of recorded events. The recorded events mean that you can have a look at the recording and then, just get a sense of like, is this something I want to attend live? Like, am I going to like it? And so that's really great. And then also, because it is online, if you are feeling a bit shy and you just want to keep your camera off, sorry, my chocolate Labrador Winston's about to make an appearance here. If you want to turn off your camera or turn off your mic and just kind of observe without having too much chat, that's also fine. Like nobody would make you turn on your camera or your microphone. If you want to just lurk, we have a lot of joyful lurkers. We have a lot of joyful lurkers. That's completely fine. And then that just means that you can participate at your own, in your own way, at your own pace.
Sounds great. We've got a question from Dale. He says, do you need to have a certain level of experience to join the sessions, or are beginners welcome?
Yeah, beginners welcome to all of the sessions. We make sure that all of the classes are beginner friendly and also drop-in friendly. Okay. So even though people, like, let's take the creative writing class as an example, people have formed connections over time, but it's not cliquey at all. Like, it's super welcoming. So if you rocked up as a new person to that, people would be really excited for a new person to join. They'd be really welcoming. And there's no prior experience needed. Nobody will put you on the spot. We make sure we pick all of our team members and all of our event facilitators to make sure they're experts, but they're also, welcoming, approachable, and not going to press you into anything.
Oh, sounds great. We've just got a couple of minutes left, so just a couple of questions. I was just thinking about Nanny Jean, and kind of, what do you think she'd make of it all?
Oh yeah,
That's
good
a bit of a
question.
personal question,
Yeah,
but
no, it's no. I think she'd be really proud. I think she would be very proud. I also think she'd have some pointers for us. She's like Granny. She'd be like, "This is great. Like, you should change this, and how about this, and you should be doing this." But yeah, I think she'd be really proud. And you know, I didn't have really the opportunity to talk the idea through, you know, with her. She knew that, you know, I'd spent my 20s working in other people's early stage technology companies. She knew I wanted to build one myself, but she never got to know what I ended up doing, and that it's, yeah, an homage to her. Or as one of my team members put it the other day, which is so nice, that it's, yeah, the Joy Club is a love letter to her.
oh, lovely. Yeah, that's really, really nice. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to add just in the last couple of minutes, Hannah? It's been really inspiring talking to you.
Thank you
Anything else?
so much. Yeah, it's been inspiring talking to you as well. And it's so nice to have this opportunity to talk to the Dementia Carers community. And I guess just in the final couple of minutes, I would just encourage people to, yeah, just have a sign up and have a look around. It really is no pressure. You know, you can sign up with that promo code. You wouldn't be asked for any credit card or debit card details until the end of 2 months. So absolutely no pressure, and no pressure as well to participate in anything you didn't fancy. You can just have a good browse, see if there's anything that interests you, and then turn up either you know, by yourself for some me time, or, you know, with your loved one as well. Be very welcome. And yeah, the team hopefully look forward to welcoming you soon.
Brilliant, thank you. It's been great chatting. So I think we've got, the charities have got a lot in common in terms of increasing well-being and support and community. So it's been great talking to you, Hannah. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kate.
You're welcome. So for those of you that are listening, thank you so much for joining us. We do, but by all means, look at our website as well to see what sessions we offer. We do have a session coming up in May, on the 17th of May. I've lost my bit of paper with on, but I'm pretty sure it's the 17th of May, about meaningful activity and why it's important to get involved in activities, and how it boosts your confidence, but also thinking about, if you do have a dementia or you do have some disabilities, about how to adapt things so that you're still able to participate. So that's a session that we've got coming up soon, but do have a look on our website. And yeah, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. So we'll say goodbye.
Fabulous. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, no problem. Bye bye.